Hey, sorry for taking so long doing these commentaries, but let's finish it. Question 9, the comparison of the different endings. In my opinion, there are 5 options out there. Firstly, the Canon synthetic versus organic ending. I need to state that I do think the synthetic killing organic to prevent other synthetic from wiping out all other organic life makes sense. It makes machine sense. Um, it's like saying a nuclear war will wipe out every organic being on Earth, so how do we stop that? Yeah, a sensible person would engage in nuclear proliferation treaties and peace talks, but there is no guarantee that would work. As advanced machines, they will resolve this issue at its core in a more direct and brutal fashion. They will repeatedly nuke our cities so we never develop to the level of nuclear weapons. It's weird machine logic, but I think it sort of makes sense. However, the two problems I have with this ending, in terms of a movie, is one is too arbitrary and unrelatable of an idea that is too difficult to convey on the best of days. But more importantly, number two, I don't see this issue as a central issue in Mass Effect. It's touched upon because Mass Effect is a huge game with many interesting ideas, but in Mass Effect 1, you killed the Geth. There's no discussion of this concept. In Mass Effect 2, you had EDI, who is a minor character, and this concept of machines having a soul is only introduced through Legion, and he usually joins the team very late. And in the first part of Mass Effect 3, it's all about the genophage. So it's not until the second part of Mass Effect 3 that this issue is more fully explained with Legion and Tali. So for me, it's just not prevalent enough to be the central theme, and it's sort of a surprise that it is mentioned at the very end and this is its main theme. I just don't really like that. The Dark Energy ending is said to be the original ending to Mass Effect 3. For those who don't know, someone described it to me as space global warming. Basically, using the mass relay excessively causes dark energy to spread, and the sun dies prematurely, like the sun on Hailstrom, and eventually the galaxy will be destroyed. Reapers wipe out advanced civilizations, so you can't use the relays. Problem resolved. Comparing this with the synthetic versus organic concept, global warming is a much more relatable concept than predicting the end game of artificial intelligence with respect to organics. But it's not the central theme. Maybe it works as a choice-based game. It coming off the idea that they will try to blow you away at the end of the game. Isn't this epic dilemma choice deciding the galaxy? But global warming, no, it's not really what Mass Effect is about. And if this concept was introduced at the very end of this epic saga, it would just be very, very random. Yeah. A Nil Explanation ending is basically one that doesn't explain the motivation of the Reapers. A very common way of doing this is cut out the Citadel kids sections and just having the movie end in a heart-wrenching death scene between with Shepard and Anderson sitting and watching the Crucible fires. I just have two small issues with it. One, I don't know whether it's okay not to introduce the Reaper's motivation at all, considering you did build it up so much, saying their motives is beyond comprehension. Okay, and I'm sure if the series goes on, and they will eventually explain it, so we might as well do it here. But I don't know, it's probably okay not to explain it. The second issue is that it's a very small one. I said to myself that the one thing that had to make sense is that Shepard's body has to be vaporized. Otherwise, the Lazarus Project will just bring him or her back. And then you end up in a situation where half the people reckon it's the tragic death of Shepard, the end of his or her journey, and the other half go, no, wait, it's going to be a sequel with Shepard, because the Lazarus Project, oh yeah. And the very popular Indoctrination ending. Same questions, is it relatable? No, I have no idea what it feels like to be struggling against indoctrination, nor any other form of mind control. If you have previous experience, you are at an advantage. A test of whether something is relatable, try and explain it to your mom. Just like space global warming and advanced organic making an advanced synthetic to kill the organic in order to prevent them from developing other synthetics which will kill all of the organics. Try and explain these magic extra auditory sound waves from these giant sentient machines controlling your brain, but you don't know you're being controlled. You have to struggle very hard against it and you nosebleed and stuff. Basically, I'm saying I'm not going to do a good job making an indoctrination thing work, because the concept is, to me, is just a bit unrelatable for a good story. Um, but is this indoctrination a central theme? Yes, yes, it is. But what is its message? What is the central point of showing this indoctrination struggle? The only thing I can think of is that Shepard is so determined that he or she can even overcome the Harbinger indoctrination. Maybe it's just me, but I figured out that Shepard is super determined in the first 99 hours and 45 minutes playing the game. I'm sure I'll figure it out in a movie as well. But do I need an extra 15 minutes of Harbinger's mental trickery to demonstrate that point? Does it really add anything? In the Unity ending, I just had Shepard crawl for about a minute, and I think that's enough. I don't see the point of going through this extended metaphysical indoctrination of mental trauma that's not all that relatable. And the Unity ending. I think the central theme to Mass Effect is about unity. Shepard uniting people of different races, cultures, and backgrounds. Even in my Shepard origin story, it's about unity. It's the central theme, in my opinion. If you listen to what the old man in the epilogue says, he is essentially celebrating the wonders of diversity. And you just paused the video here and saw my other video of Shepard's speech. It's about unity despite differences. And I thought to myself, why not just have Harbinger be the exact opposite of Shepard? Rather than represent unity despite differences, have Harbinger and the Reapers represent unity by the elimination of differences. Is it relatable? Yes. We fight for our families harder than we fight for our friends. We are closer to our friends than to our countrymen. We share a tighter bond with our countrymen than a foreigner. And Harbinger's line of thinking is completely reasonable. Except he kills everyone. That's not very nice. But the concept is relatable. Even Harbinger makes a lot of sense. And the question I want to ask the audience is, which do you think is stronger? And unless you are racist, homophobe, sexist, bigot, I'm hoping the audience will side with Shepard. But I had to humanize a villain. Harbinger is saying all these things with a lot of weight. Reapers are powerful and numerous. Each time they complete the cycle, is the evidence that they are stronger. Harbinger is made to be more outspoken than Shepard. The reasons are: A. Harbinger needs more screen time to explain himself properly. B. Shepard is super injured and doesn't want to go into a huge debate. C. is probably the biggest reason. If Shepard starts to talk about unity, multiculturalism, gender equality, importance of diversity, exchanging of ideas in otherwise stagnant society, and do quotes from people in history, it would seem very preachy and completely antagonize the audience at that point. This would be a freaking disaster. So in the dialogue, you notice Shepard uses very short sentences and just asks some questions. She let her actions speak louder than words and demonstrate that no, unity despite differences is the stronger mean. And the final thing that gives Harbinger's ideology a lot of weight is that deep down, you know he's right. Garrus asks at the end, did Shepard's sacrifice really bring about peace, and how long will it last? But there's going to be a new war very soon, otherwise it won't be a Mass Effect 4. Also, it's human nature to fight those who are different. So yeah, Shepard did probably die for nothing. But there is that hope that things will change. So my Unity ending is very hopeful or pessimistic depending on your interpretation.